I've been looking into this Greenford stabbing. 87-year-old man in his mobility scooter who raising money for charity, stabbed by some guy who was very quickly arrested. Um, so let's have a look at some of the details to make sure everything adds up. Well, here we have the police saying that they've arrested someone called Lee Byer, and this guy Lee Byer is of Allenby Avenue UB12. Well, there's no Allenby Avenue UB12. This is not a correct address. Remember, this is the police here. The police are supposed to get things correct. There's no such address as Allenby Avenue UB12. There is, however, Allenby Road UB1. So maybe Lee Byer was arrested at Allenby Road UB1, but there's no such address as Allenby Avenue UB12. Now remember, we're talking about the police here, and the police have to be accurate. If they can't even get the address right, then there's something badly wrong. Okay, let's have a look at his mobility scooter. This apparently is the mobility scooter that he had on the day he died. This is it. And it has one wing mirror. But this is a mobility scooter he was pictured in a couple of months earlier. And it has two wing mirrors. So the question is, what's happened to his wing mirror? Is this the same scooter? I mean, okay, there are similarities, the Ukrainian thing here, but it doesn't mean it's the same scooter. This one is different. We've also been given contradictory stories about whether he was coming to or coming back from busking. It says here, Mr. O'Halloran was attacked while on his way to busk. Now, if you're going to rob someone, you'd presumably rob them on their way back from busking, assuming that Mr. O'Halloran would have some money on him, right? People don't usually go to busk with money. They more likely come back with some money, a little money, not much money, I'd imagine. If I wanted to donate to Ukraine, I wouldn't give it to some random guy outside a supermarket with a box, right? My guess is that money would go into his pocket, right? So we're told by the police and other sources that he was on his way back from busking, but this is, I think, from the BBC. He was attacked while on his way to busk. Now, you can't have it both ways. Either you're going to busk or you're coming back to busk. Now, these are details that are important, right? So this is what was said by, I think, the local MP. But anyway, it says, many of you locally would have known Tom for playing instruments and busking in train stations around the Greenford area to feed his family and also to raise money for Ukraine. So did he make some sort of executive decision on the day that he was going to raise money for Ukraine, or did he just keep the money that was supposed to be going to Ukraine for his own use? You see, either you are collecting for charity or you're collecting for yourself. Here, somebody who allegedly knows this guy is saying that he collected money for both his family, to feed his family, although he's 87. One would have thought his family could feed himself, feed his family, and raise money for Ukraine. Look, there are many, many aspects of this story that don't add up. I may easily be wrong about this. My suspicions, I'm a very suspicious person. I don't take official stories without question. This is my nature. I'm one of those very, very unusual people who don't like to be told what to think, who don't like to be spoon-fed, and I know from personal experience, from many, many other issues, not just this one, that many, many stories we're told are simply not true, right? Now, this may be a true story. I'm not saying 100% with certainty that my suspicions are correct. All I'm saying is there are reasonable grounds to doubt the veracity of this story. A lot of people don't like the idea that somebody would question something like this because apparently it's been disrespectful to the family. You're not allowed to question. Most people have a very poor image of the police, but even the people who have a poor image of the police, knowing the police don't turn up to investigate crime, will not deal with criminal behaviour, when the police tell them something's happened, they automatically believe them. Well, you can't have it both ways. If you're suspicious of the police, then you need to question what they say. I think that they arrested the guy. I think the person they were going to arrest was known to them before this event took place. I think this event has been manufactured in order to create to create anxiety in the public, and in order to promote racism, actually, which a lot of people have instinctively, with confirmation bias. If you show a picture of a guy, and again, I point out, not for the first time, that lots and lots of these video footage is very, very, very poor quality. I mean, don't forget, in 1969, right, we were shown pictures from the moon. We were told from the moon, with better, but with just as good clarity as what we're being shown now. I mean, you know, if you're going to have a CCTV camera to protect your business or home, you really need to have the kind of imagery that will be of some use in a court of law, right? So I'm not prepared to believe what I'm told. I think there's reasonable room for doubt on this. People need, you know, people are talking about hanging the guy and all the rest of it. If he did it, if this actually did take place, then the death penalty would be something to consider. Although compared to what Tony Blair has done, or Fauci, or Biden, it's nothing really. I mean, killing one person, if he killed 1 million, he'd get a medal. But, you know, and also here's another little minor detail, I suppose. This is the guy's accordion, and nobody who owns an accordion would hang it on the back of a seat like that. Accordions need to be stored folded. If you have a musical instrument, especially one that you use to make money, then you don't treat it like that. So there's no way that looks to me, this whole thing looks to me like it was set up for a photo op, right? I guess many of the people who live in that road are in on it, and I reckon they made this area safe to take some photographs and then to claim that a crime had been committed. That's my opinion as a strong possibility. I am not saying with 100% certainty what happened. I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't kill him, all right? That's, at least we can establish that. Hopefully you can take my word for that. Something is very odd about this story. I've noted a few major discrepancies in what we're being told. Please don't take the bait. When they show you a story like this, think about it. 87 years old, mobility scooter, loved person, raising money for the Ukraine, which is the and he can't even spell Ukraine. I mean, on his sign it says Ukraine against Russia. Ukraine. I mean, I think that's kind of racist, to be honest, to be against Russia. But he'd written on the front, allegedly, or at least somebody had written, support Ukraine with a C. Ukraine's got a K, but anyway, against Russia. Against Russia. I don't want to support Ukraine against Russia. I want to support Britain, right? So let's take another look at this issue. Let's not exclude other possibilities. Let's not pretend that the state do not organise events for whatever reason. Thank you for your time.